The rain would not stop falling over the muddy plains outside Vienna. Cannons sank into the earth, horses collapsed from exhaustion, and thousands of soldiers stared at the distant city walls that stood between empires. In the autumn of 1529, the fate of Central Europe hung in the balance. Just 3 years earlier, the mighty kingdom of Hungary had been shattered at the Battle of Mohács by the armies of Suleiman the Magnificent. The young Hungarian king was dead, and the Ottoman Empire surged forward into Central Europe. For Suleiman, Vienna was not merely another city, it was the gateway to the heart of the Holy Roman Empire. If Vienna fell, the road to Germany and beyond might lie open. The target was the capital of the Habsburg lands, ruled by Ferdinand I, brother of Emperor Charles V. Vienna stood as a frontier fortress between two worlds, the expanding Islamic Ottoman Empire and Christian Europe. It was wealthy, strategic, and symbolic. Suleiman's campaign began with enormous ambition. His army, possibly over 100,000 strong, included elite janissaries, heavy cavalry, engineers, and powerful artillery. They marched from Constantinople through the Balkans and into Hungary, but nature quickly turned against them. Unusually heavy rains transformed roads into swamps. Supply lines stretched thin. Siege cannons became stuck in mud and had to be abandoned. By late September, the Ottoman forces finally reached Vienna. Inside the city, panic had already spread. Many civilians fled. The defenders numbered perhaps 15,000 to 20,000, far fewer than the besieging army. The city's leadership fell to a veteran German mercenary commander, Count Nicholas von Salm and Wilhelm von Roggendorf. They had only weeks to prepare. Vienna's medieval walls were not designed for modern gunpowder artillery, but the defenders worked desperately to reinforce them. They built earthen ramparts behind the stone walls to absorb cannon fire. Trenches were dug. Every able-bodied man was armed. Even elderly citizens and craftsmen took positions along the defenses. On the 27th of September, 1529, the siege officially began. Ottoman artillery bombarded the walls, but the muddy conditions had prevented the transport of the heaviest cannons. Without their largest guns, the Ottomans relied heavily on mining operations, digging tunnels beneath the walls to plant explosives. It became a deadly underground war. Viennese soldiers listened with bowls pressed to the ground, trying to detect the sound of digging. Countermines were dug. Underground explosions collapsed tunnels and buried men alive in darkness. The fighting was brutal and relentless. Ottoman assaults tested the walls again and again. The Janissaries, among the most disciplined infantry in the world, launched fierce attacks. Yet, each time, they were met with desperate resistance. Pike formations, arquebuses, and sheer determination held the breaches. Time began to work against Suleiman. The cold Central European autumn arrived early. Food shortages worsened. Disease spread in the Ottoman camp. Heavy rain continued to cripple logistics. The defenders, though exhausted, held firm. On October 14, Suleiman ordered a massive, final assault. Waves of Janissaries surged toward damaged sections of the wall. Hand-to-hand combat erupted. Smoke, screams, and cannon fire filled the air, but the defenders repelled the attack. The next morning, the Ottoman army began its withdrawal. Vienna had survived. The retreat was as punishing as the advance. Snow fell early that year. Thousands of Ottoman soldiers perished during the withdrawal through Hungary. Though Suleiman remained one of the most powerful rulers of his age, this campaign had failed to achieve its grand objective. The siege of Vienna in 1529 did not end Ottoman expansion into Europe. There would be further wars, further clashes, and even another great siege in 1683. But 1529 marked a psychological and strategic turning point. It demonstrated that the Ottoman advance into Central Europe could be resisted. The Habsburg frontier held. For Europe, Vienna became a symbol of survival. For the Ottomans, it was a reminder that even the mightiest empire could be checked by weather, logistics, and determined defenders. In the muddy fields outside Vienna, cannons sank and ambitions stalled. An empire had reached its western limit for the moment.